all the way across the room. You walk towards me, I walk towards you. I know just what I wanna do, but you take the train right out of my head and pull me on the dance floor. You shake your body while I just stand there. This isn't what I came here for. Don't put your hair in my face. I don't wanna smell your perfume. Don't put your hands on my waist. I don't wanna dance with you. Don't put your hair in my face. I don't wanna smell your perfume. Don't put your hands on my waist. I don't wanna dance with you. To put it plainly, I've got no rhythm. These 2 feet hard like bricks in my shoes. I see the way, girl, you move your body. There's some other things that we could do. We could order up the valley, head back to my place. I could put some music on. If you don't want to, well, that's okay, girl. But I'm getting on the dance floor. Don't put your hair in my face. I don't wanna smell your perfume. Don't put your hands on my waist. I don't wanna dance with you. Don't put your hair in my face. I don't wanna smell your perfume. Don't put your hands on my waist. I don't wanna dance with you. I feel defeated in the corner, sipping on this watered down rum. I feel her grab me and pull me toward her. She says, come on, let's go and have some fun. Don't put your hair in my face. I don't wanna smell your perfume. Don't put your hands on my waist. I don't wanna dance with you. Don't put your hair in my face. I don't wanna smell your perfume. Don't put your hands on my waist. I don't wanna dance with you. Oh, yeah. I don't wanna dance with you. Don't put your hands on my waist. I don't wanna dance with you. Don't put your hands on my waist. I don't wanna dance with you. Don't put your hands on my waist. I don't wanna dance with you. Before I knew it, I went and blew it and we were through. She said goodbye, I didn't know why, and then I met you. It didn't make sense in the moment that all my earlier
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show with your host, Brad Brock.
Good morning, jammers. Morning out there. Happy hump day to you. You are listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show. I am your host, Brad Brock. And as always, it's a pleasure to be here with you this morning. Bright and early. Bright is the operative word here, at least on the Treasure Coast of Florida. Man, it is beautiful outside. I can't believe it. We talk at length about the other day about the time change and whether you prefer the daylight savings time period or the standard time period. I'm still steadfast. Here we are, at least a week or two in now, and I'm still steadfast. I love this time period. It does get dark a little earlier, but I explained my reasons for that. It's much nicer to perform at nighttime. Sweating to death at the beginning of my set. And it is nice to be up this early in the morning, and it's beautiful and sunny out. And I don't know, I guess being on this side of the work schedule, is a little bit better in this time period because I can get up and there's daylight and I can get things done. But I digress. I thank you so much for tuning in with me this morning over on YouTube or tuning in on Facebook or even listening in on the JNC Radio internet radio station. You can listen to that, of course, on jncpodcast.com, or you can get the free Live365 Radio App and listen to us there. Just search JNC Radio. I think all of my people tuning in on YouTube, we are having a debate. We'll get into it, obviously, but it's National Fast Food Day, so I put a poll up. People to let me know what I should have for lunch. I have 4 choices up there. So if you're over on YouTube or if you're on Facebook, come over to YouTube and vote. See what I'm going to have for lunch, fast food wise. Drums and Rums, Paul from Drums and Rums, he writes, fast food has to have a drive-thru. Believe it or not, our Panda Express here in Port St. Lucie has a drive-thru. So I added it to the list because it's delicious and it has a fast food. It has a drive-thru. So we're good. Bye, Jordan. Jordan votes for Panda Express. Before we get into our national days, we're going to talk a little bit about the weather. There was a dense fog advisory that was issued up until just right around now over in inland Palm Beach County. You can't see it here on the Treasure Coast, but perhaps it was a little foggy down south there. But they said the visibility would be reduced to less than a quarter of a mile in spots, causing hazardous driving conditions. Use your low beams and maintain extra following distance is what they said at the National Weather Service. So in case there's still some lingering fog around out there, just be careful on the roads. This morning on the Treasure Coast, we got temperatures in the mid to upper 60s under mostly clear skies. This afternoon, near record heat, with highs topping out in the upper 80s with increasing clouds and some late-day showers as a wonderful, luscious cold front pushes into the area. We're going to wake up on Thursday morning with temperatures in the mid to upper 60s and afternoon highs in the upper 70s to low 80s with decreasing humidity throughout the day. It'll be a bit cloudy, but the rain chances remain low. That's tomorrow. I'll take it. It could be 80 degrees, but with no humidity, it's just wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling, especially here when we've just been bombarded all summer by just excruciating heat, really. We also have the famous irrelevant weather report from Philip in Middle Tennessee there. He said, a cold Arctic front moving into our area just before it gets to us, I suppose. He said their nightly lows are going down to freezing, and the daily highs are going to be up around 45 to 49 degrees. He also said that cooler nights are ahead with the Arctic blast coming in. Clear skies ahead throughout the weekend, coming weekend, and normal temps for this time is low to mid 60s, and the lows in the daily temps are in the low 40s. So nice and chilly up there, you guys. It's sweater weather, as I like to call it. As always, I am checking the chats and comments, so feel free to chime in if you got anything to touch on in the stories, or if you just want to say hello. I'm here to listen to you. Let's get into our national days here. Of course, we already mentioned National Fast Food Day, so let's talk about that for a moment. September, jeez, where am I in the world? On November 16th, Food lovers get a dose of their favorite convenience food. Whether they use the drive-through, the dine-in, or get it to go, National Fast Food Day calls for us to grilled, fried, and broiled menu staples. First popularized in the United States in the 1950s, fast food is considered any meal with low preparation time and served to a customer in a packaged form. The meal makes for quick dine-in, take-out, or take-away. Most fast food restaurants offer drive-through service, Paul. Wouldn't you know? Following World War I, automobiles became popular and more affordable. At that time, restaurants introduced the drive-in. Much like today's food trucks, Walter Anderson first began selling hamburgers out of an old streetcar body at a Wichita intersection. Despite the limited menu, the hamburgers were a crowd pleaser. The popularity of his hamburgers grew. Anderson partnered with E.W. Ingram and opened the very first White Castle in 1921 in Wichita, Kansas. These enterprising restaurateurs opened the first fast food business selling hamburgers for 5 cents each. Can you imagine? The United States hosts the largest fast food industry in the world. Imagine that. American fast food restaurants are located in over 100 countries. So get out there. It's okay. I give you permission, but I take no responsibility for what happens to you. If you indulge in some fast food today, National Fast Food Day. As mentioned, I do have a poll going. There's 4 choices on the poll. Right now, it's a 3-way tie between Burger King, Wendy's, and Panda Express. I also have Subway up there, just because I wanted to be somewhat heart conscious. And no, not a single vote for old Subway there. It is a 3-way tie between Burger King, Wendy's, and Panda Express. So get over to our YouTube channel there and cast your vote. Because otherwise I'm going to have to go to all 3 and have a wonderful hodgepodge meal. All right, let's read some of these comments here. Paul says he's so tired this morning. Paul, what did you do all night? You had a long weekend, pal, down in the Miami Rum Festival. All right, let's see what's going on here. Let me get back to my notes. What other national days do we have today? It's National Button Day. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to tell you. National Button Day on November 16th celebrates the function of buttons and the hobby of button collection. Step aside zippers, laces, and snaps. Today we honor the button. Do any of you have a button collection? Even if it's not an intentional one? I do. I have a drawer filled with buttons that have fallen off, or most garments come with extra buttons sewn into the little tags. Sometimes they fall off, or they come. Some dress shirts come with the attached little zip baggie of extra buttons. I do have a little box just loaded with buttons. My unintentional button collection. Working on cruise ships, I actually got very, very good at sewing buttons back onto shirts, because waiting for the tailor on the ship was a lost cause, really. But let's talk about National Button Day. Founded in 1938, the National Button Society recognized button collecting as an organized hobby. Both novice and advanced button collectors celebrate the enjoyment of collecting on this day. You remember your grandmother or your mother snipping the buttons off of shirts, headed for the rag basket? Oh, that's a throwback term. Those buttons are often collected in jars or tins. Maybe you even played a game or strung them for ornaments and crafts. The buttons were fun to stack into piles, sort by color or size, or scatter and slide across the floor or table, making up different games each time. Crafters across the country utilize buttons in creative ways, too. They are some of the best at finding new uses for old items. There are thousands of button collectors in the United States. So, National Button Day. Show off your button collections. And Paul says, nobody better push my buttons today. I think that's another National Button Day. It's National Check Your Wipers Day. That's always a good one. On November 16th, reminds drivers to regularly check their windshield wipers to ensure optimum visibility in the event of inclement weather on the road. According to the FHWA, about 21% of all accidents in the United States are weather-related. As travelers plan for road trips, it's important to remind them to proactively check their wipers. Visibility is an important factor in driving in poor weather conditions like rain, snow, and ice. A survey by Michelin Wiper Blades found that 92% of drivers agree that poor wiper blades can affect their driving ability. However, 90% of drivers do not plan the time to check their wipers properly. And 55+% don't know how to check their wiper blades properly. So, on International Check Your Wipers Day, ensure your family's driving ability and safety by checking the windshield wipers on all of your cars. Great reminders on when to check your wipers should include during an oil change, when you fill your gas tank, after a car wash, before a road trip, at the start of winter and spring seasons. Add checking your wipers to your maintenance checklist. When you celebrate, be sure to use hashtag Check Your Wipers Day on social media. So take a photo of you doing it and hashtag that. National Wipers Blades Day. Wonderful. All right, what else do we have? I think there's at least one more here. National Education Support Professionals Day, annually observed on the Wednesday during American Education Week, which I guess is the week that we're in now. National Education Support Professionals Day honors the contributions of school support employees. These support professionals provide invaluable services and are essential partners in a child's education. This day honors a long list of professionals who keep the schools running smoothly. They include all secretaries, classroom aides, cafeteria workers, maintenance workers, bus drivers, and the others who support educators, school leadership, and the students, too. These professionals do their part in making public schools exceptional for every child so they can be safe, learn, grow, and achieve. So there you go. Be sure to say thank you to those people. And that's your national days today. I was wondering, Philip, he was doing the Wiper Blades song, but in text form. It took me a minute to get it, but yes, a Bob and Tom show. Are they still around? Are those guys still doing their thing? Our similar local show here in South Florida was the Love Doctors, and they have since all retired, and the show itself has been retired. But Bob and Tom are still at it. My goodness, how old are they now? They've got to be pushing 70. Maybe I'll look and see on the break. Don't let me forget out there. I'll check and see what's going on with Bob and Tom. I remember listening to them when I was a kid. All right. Just before we dive into our news stories, I might get a song in before we dive into news stories, but just a little rundown of the podcast tonight. As promised, I'm bringing you a JNC replay. We're replaying the One Chip Challenge episode, the Pocky One Chip Hot Chip Challenge. So that'll be tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, wherever you normally watch our show. Will be re-airing. And so I will be in the chats to chat with you guys as that show is going on throughout the night. It was a great episode. We as many of you know, we love pain and suffering on the Jams and Cocktails podcast. And this show, that episode was no exception. Mostly for Derek, but for all of us too. It may perhaps mostly for me. What you don't see in that episode is the end of it. When we took our very first break, after we made it the hour, I really had a major tummy ache. It was a huge struggle and thankfully I was able to like put down enough water to dilute whatever was going on in there, and come back and finish up the show. But man, that was the worst stomachache I've had in a long, long time. And yeah, I thought that perhaps I was going to have to go to the emergency room. So relive that magical episode tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, on YouTube and Facebook. We'll be replaying there in its glory. Looking at, they're saying that we're looking for the Brad and Paul show. And Paul's dropping some hints there. There's very, very likely that there will be a collaboration coming soon. So stay tuned for all that. All right. I'm going to give you guys a tune here first. And then when we come back, I'm going to get into some news stories. We're going to talk, of course, about the Artemis 1 finally lifting off, finally making its way towards the moon after months now of problems. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then I got some other news stories for you. You're listening to Jams and Coffee in the Morning. Enjoy this one by my man, Deal James. This is Lemon Water. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
My mama said, baby, you like to be alone, but then I said, you know how I love your little lessons. My daddy said, nothing wrong with being on solo, but don't forget, he had to fight a war to win affection. Everybody wants someone to love. Everybody wants someone to love. Everybody wants someone to love. Everybody wants someone to love.
right, we're back. Jams and coffee in the morning. That was Deal James with Lemon Water. Love that tune. Always a good time. So check it out. Got some news stories here. As mentioned, NASA's mightiest rocket lifts off 50 years after Apollo, and after months of struggling to get off the ground in general. NASA's new moon rocket blasted off on its debut flight with 3 test dummies aboard last night, or early this morning, rather. I know that I was not able to stay up to check it out. I was in bed before 10 o'clock, I think, last night. But yes, 3 test dummies aboard this morning, bringing the U.S. one step closer to putting astronauts back on the lunar surface for the first time since the end of the Apollo program 50 years ago. If all goes well during the 3-week make-or-break shakedown flight, the capsule will be propelled into a wide orbit around the moon and then return to Earth with a Pacific splashdown in December. After years of delays and billions in cost overruns, the Space Launch System rocket thundered skyward, rising from Kennedy Space Center on 8.8 million pounds of thrust and hitting 100 miles per hour within seconds. The Orion capsule was perched on top and less than 2 hours into the flight, busted out of the Earth's orbit toward the moon. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson said it's a great day. The moonshot follows nearly 3 months of vexing fuel leaks that kept the rocket bouncing between its hangar and the pad. Forced back indoors by Hurricane Ian at the end of September, the rocket stood its ground outside as Nicole swept through last week with gusts of more than 80 miles per hour. Although the wind caused some damage, managers gave the green light for launch and overall seemed pretty successful. So, I'll give a round of applause for NASA finally getting that sucker off the ground. Of course, they couldn't do it in the daytime when people can watch it, but listen, it's not necessarily for entertainment value. But I hope all goes well with that mission. I hope that they are able to proceed with the next phase, which is, of course, putting people in orbit around the moon back, and then, of course, eventually landing them there and returning to the surface. It would be nice. So congratulations to the NASA team finally getting that sucker off the ground. All right. Some local news, some fun stuff. In Fort Pierce, the King's Landing project that they're working on will feature the first rooftop bar on the Treasure Coast. Will be open to the public on the 11th floor of the residential building planned for the $140 million King's Landing project in downtown Fort Pierce, according to Dale Madison, sure. He's the chief executive officer and president of Audubon Development. He went on to say it would overlook the Indian River Lagoon and out to the ocean. It's going to be one of those things that will be great for business because it's going to attract a lot of people downtown. Profound. That was profound. Profoundly said, sir. The plans call for the bar area to be between 3,000 square feet and 4,000 square feet and serve small plates of food instead of being a full-service restaurant. So it'll be the Marriott Hotel Roof Bar. It could be open 3 to 4 years before the 140-room Marriott Hotel project is completed. And the rooftop bar opens to the public, he said. So the restaurant may be ready to go before the hotel even is. Developers may include a second public rooftop bar and even a rooftop swimming pool, but those plans haven't been finalized. 6 restaurants and a beer garden are also planned, he said. Those rooftop bars are kind of the cherry on top, if you will. He said it's a very valuable real estate that sits there unmonetized. Roofs are super valuable, so we try to monetize the roof any way we can because money talks and bullshit walks. He didn't say that. I added that. Mainsail Lodging and Development in Tampa, which would operate the hotel, has rooftop bars in all its hotels, including the Epicurean. Epicurean? Oh, man. Where are you staying? I don't know where I'm staying. That's in Tampa, and the Luminary Hotel in Fort Myers. I wonder how they're doing. During the approval process for the Fort Pierce project, developers kept hearing about the hope for a rooftop bar, Madison said. He said it came through loud and clear to us that people wanted some sort of place to go relax and kick back and watch the sunset and enjoy the view that we have. Developers in April closed the Fort Pierce City Marina area property, which is bordered by the A.E. Backus Avenue on the north, Indian River Drive on the east, Avenue A on the south, and the 2nd Street on the west. Construction crews were clearing the land in early November and planned to keep digging through Thanksgiving. They'd already removed at least 300 tons of concrete from the former power plant's old foundation. The next step will be installing sidewalks and a sewer system, for which the developers applied for permits in August. Now, the question begs is, given Florida's weather and water views, why doesn't the Treasure Coast have more rooftop bars like other nearby cities like Melbourne or Jupiter? There are no Treasure Coast government agencies that restrict rooftop bars. Well, one possible reason is it's easier to engineer a new building to accommodate a rooftop bar than it is to add one to an existing building, according to Madison. That doesn't mean that others haven't tried or at least considered adding a rooftop bar. In fact, the owners of Sailfish Brewing Company, just down the road from King's Landing, have had it on their minds since they moved into the larger space on 2nd Street. The brewery's president, David Boucher Jr., said one of the first things that was mentioned when we moved into that old J.C. Penney building was, wow, we could do a rooftop bar up here. He said, I hope we do it one day, and I think we will. He did estimate that the bar would cost He estimated the bar could be between 1,500 square feet and 2,000 square feet, but it could cost over $100,000 to make the necessary changes to the building, he said. Sailfish would have to reinforce the roof, add safety railing, and also put in an ADA-compliant elevator. Said it's a great idea to do that one day. It's just tough. It's a tough financial investment to bite off, or probably not a huge return very quickly. Boucher also said you're looking at something that needs to be open year-round and pay itself back eventually. That's really hard to do, especially with something that's probably not going to be overly utilized at least 5 months out of the year. I don't know where he gets that idea from. If they had a rooftop bar at Sailfish, I'd be up there all the time. I would beg to play music up there. But I understand if it's like super rainy, unless you have some sort of covering system, which may be a bad idea for wind and such. I don't know, guys. But yeah, I don't know what the mega hype is over rooftop bars, but I enjoy them. I think it's cool. I don't necessarily think that a rooftop bar on the 3rd story is overly cool because you're just looking at the roofs of other buildings. But on high rises and such, I get the appeal. A nice view of the city, or the ocean, or the river in that case in downtown Fort Pierce. But yeah, we'll see. I'm stoked about the King's Landing project. It's been a really long time since they've done a massive improvement in Fort Pierce, especially in the downtown area. I do remember working down there years and years ago. And if you guys are familiar with the downtown Fort Pierce area, some of you that are tuning in that may not be local, I used to work down there, and it was a little shady. It was not as nice as it is today. Certainly not as bustling as it is today. There were still, restaurants and things like that, and it was fun, but it was a little bit more old Florida. It was a little bit sketchier, but all the same, I do enjoy the improvements that have been made there. I really enjoy the businesses that have moved in and made it a bustling area. It's never a hard to find parking. They've really done a good job putting in parking garages and having space to park. So I love downtown Fort Pierce. It's really a great spot. And Kings Landing is just going to bring a whole other upper scale element to it. I know some people are against that. Oh, we want to keep Florida, old Florida, but I don't know. I'm excited to see what they bring to the table. And but it's going to be a while. It's a massive project. More places for me to play music. See? All right. That's your local buzz there. Let's see. Take another quick music break. When we come back, I got some music news for you this morning. Some interesting stories that I found. I thought were interesting. We'll do that, and then we'll talk about our celebrity birthdays. And we'll hit you with our shameless plugs and get you onto your hump day. Let's see. What do we want to play? Here's one from East Harbor, Right Where I Belong. You're listening to Jams and Coffee in the Morning. We'll see you in just a bit.
I won't be happy with. Lately over being unlucky, it's obvious that I need a day off. Too much to pay off. These days I feel like someone cut my legs off. But I'm fine, just stressed out. Lately I feel left out. Living life looking like hell. But I've been better with you around. You make me feel right when I'm out of patience. Feel like I am on vacation. You sound so nice singing my song, and I'm right where I belong. Right where I belong. Good conversations always on my motivation. I need a list of names to fix my reputation. Amazing how these people use communication. I try to live my life, they keep me on probation. So much to do and no time to do it. So much to say to try to get through this. I'm fine, just a little clueless. But baby, right now you're on my to-do list. You make me feel right when I'm out of patience. Feel like I am on vacation. You sound so nice singing my song, and I'm right where I belong. Right where I belong. Right where I belong. You make me feel right. Feel like I'm on vacation. You sound so nice singing my song, and I'm right where I belong. Right where I
All right, we're back here at Jams and Coffee in the Morning. That was East Harbor with Right Where I Belong. Philip chiming in, going back to the Bob and Tom show. He said that Bob had retired. And Tom's still carrying it on with Chick McGee, Christy Lee, Josh Arnold, Pat Goodwin, and young Willie Griswold. I was just looking up their Wikipedia page here, and both of those guys pushing 70. Bob into his 70s. Tom right behind him there at 69 years old. Yeah, these guys have been on for a long time, man. Almost, really, before I was even born. I've been going, it looks like here, since 1983. So good for them. Fun show. A lot of shtick, a lot of, news, and really a radio show that other talk radio shows have emulated over the years, and really kind of formed that morning show thing in the in the same realm of Stern and other shows of the such. Yeah, 35 plus years they've been doing their thing, and Bob retired. So, but the show still goes on. But thanks for diving in there with me, Philip. Give me that info. I do remember growing up and talking to them, or not talking to them, but listening to them talk, and good stuff. Wiper blades. All right, where were we here? Just a little bit of music and entertainment news here. I found this story very interesting. I got a few stories here. One I want to get your opinion on. I mean, opinion on all of them, but one specifically. So, this story says that Lady Gaga could now call herself the Pied Piper after a new study claimed that rats might enjoy her music. No, we're not talking about people rats, because we know those people exist. No, these are actual rodent rats. Science Advances released a peer-reviewed study by the University of Tokyo, which studied if rodents can recognize a song's rhythm and beat. It's been believed only humans are capable of this ability, but this new research might prove we aren't the only animals capable of headbanging, something they called beat synchronicity. Of course, researchers add animals can be trained to move to a song's beat, but this study was looking into if Wistar rats have the innate capability of recognizing and responding to rhythm. Scientists studied a bunch of rats and how they move their heads when playing them certain songs, such as Gaga's Born This Way, Maroon 5's Sugar, Queen's Another One Bites the Dust, and Michael Jackson's Beat It. Researchers also threw in some Mozart for good measure. From there, they discovered songs playing between 120 and 140 beats per minute resulted in the rats making synchronized head-bopping motions. How fun! Researchers also noted their movements were sometimes predictive, and the rats moved before the beat. Because of that, researchers ruled rats could neither be characterized as being purely reactive nor be explained only by startles. The study continued, regardless of whether it's reactive or predictive, this spontaneous synchronization to beats in rodents might act as an evolutional precursor for predictive synchronizations to musical beats in humans. Yes. The study notes that this research may show that beat synchronicity is, quote, much more widespread than currently thought, as in not only humans are capable of it. In the end, researchers propose that looking further into this matter may shed light on how music and dancing actually originated. Fun. Paul from Drums and Rum said, I like the term beat synchronicity. It's a good one. And yes, sir, dancing rats. Dancing rats, that's what we're talking about. The happy rat dance craze is coming, Philip. It sure is. And they love Gaga. Interesting story. That gave me a nice chuckle this morning during prep. Here's another one that may surprise you. Certainly haven't heard it enough, but Kiss, the band Kiss, has decided where and when its final concert will be again. Gene Simmons confirms that Kiss is locked down where and when its final show will be, but the band isn't yet ready to share the news. Of course not. Kiss originally planned to wrap up the touring careers of co-founders Simmons and Paul Stanley in New York City in the summer of 2021, but of course the plan was scrapped due to the COVID pandemic. Kiss spent most of 21 making up dates that were postponed the prior year. In recent months, Simmons, Stanley, and manager Doc McGee have been coy, if not completely unsure, about their next final show. Their next final show, of course, except to say that it would take place before next fall. Gene Simmons teased the revelation in a new interview with Page Six He said, I know when and where, but I'm not revealing yet. He said, I do know the last day and date, but you don't want to find out what you're getting for Christmas as a present in July, don't you? Maybe I do. Tell me what I want, Mr. Simmons. Beyond making good on a promise to take the End of the Road tour around the world to every city that supported KISS over the last 50 years, the band is also reportedly tying the release of a band biopic with Netflix to the final date of the show, or the final show date, rather. As of last year, the band's plan was to release the film ahead of its last show. So we'll see. This is becoming a trend a little bit, I think. Of course, if you listen to terrestrial radio at all these days, especially any iHeart radio station, you'll be hearing that Elton John will be having his final song played at Dodger Stadium, and it'll be broadcast across probably all iHeart radio stations. And he'll be doing his last song ever live, and has a special message for America, which he, touts as making his career as successful as it's been. So that could be fun. But I see, like everybody, all these aging touring bands that are announcing retirements, they want to go out with a bang, and I think they should, to be honest. But with KISS, how many times have they said they were leaving us, and just to come back, toying with our emotions, KISS. But these guys are getting up there. It may, in fact, well be their last go around, and you know what? Be okay with that. I am disappointed. I've not caught a KISS concert in my lifetime. I've seen film, and I've seen photos, and have heard other people's accounts saying it was just an amazing visual and audio experience. And so I'm sad I missed it in person. But, man, those guys, they've been doing it right forever. Paul said, KISS doesn't go out with a bang. They just like to bang. That's absolutely right. They sure do. So, keep an ear out for when and where the final concert's going to be. We'll be announcing it, I'm sure, soon enough. Final story here in the entertainment world. Morrissey. Before I get started, I just want to put this question out there. Does anybody know anything about Morrissey? Aside from that, he was a member of the Smiths, which have not been active for 40 years as a band. Nearly 40 years, I suppose. Maybe more than 40 years. I don't know. Nearly 40 years. And why does this guy command so much attention? And I'm going to tell you why. So, can anybody name one single Morrissey song without looking it up? That's what I want to know. One Morrissey song without looking it up. I want to see it in the chats and comments. Because this is not... I just picked this story because I've seen so many stories recently about this. Morrissey apparently is on tour. And so Morrissey abruptly ended his concert at the Greek in Los Angeles just 30 minutes into the show. He left his fans upset on Saturday night after he left the stage after performing only a few songs. The former Smiths frontman did not explain his departure. Instead, a bandmate of his told the crowd sorry, but due to unforeseen circumstances, the show is not going to continue. Very sorry. We'll see you next time. Apologies. Fans, of course, and rightfully so, took to Twitter to try to figure out what the unforeseen circumstance was, with one speculating it was too cold outside. Earlier on, apparently the singer had commented on the weather, saying it was chilly. So the fan wrote on their Twitter, so hashtag Morrissey just walked off the stage at the Greek after 30 minutes. Apparently he was too cold. Meanwhile, it's in the 50s. Morrissey's Instagram account had a post after the incident, but did not apologize for his early departure. The post just read, thank you for coming out last night, L.A. We love you and are grateful for your support. Please stand by for further announcements coming shortly. Morrissey is currently on a North American tour, which started November 11th. And his next stop is on the 14th at the Magnolia. This story's old. I guess his next stop isn't on the 14th. The story's so old, it's the 16th now. His last show, I guess, was on the 14th at the Magnolia in El Cajon, California. Wonder how that show went. Did he get through the whole thing? So this guy apparently has a tendency to become uncomfortable and walk off the stage. And listen, if it's something going on within him, I'm not taking that away. If he has anxiety or whatever the case is, I get all of that. But acknowledge that, I suppose. If you have thousands of people that are showing up to your shows to support you and enjoy what you have to offer, and you're offering it willingly, you just shade them constantly. So what's the appeal to this guy? I've never heard a single song that I can remember from Morrissey. I've heard his name. I know the name. I know the Smiths. But I cannot wrap my head around the appeal of this guy that just continuously disappoints his live. Why are people still buying tickets? I don't get it, man. Maybe I just don't know. Maybe I'm just ignorant, I suppose. But I can't wrap my head around. You have guys like this that if it's a little too chilly, he just walks off stage. And then you have Post Malone, who falls through a hole in his stage, busts his ribs all up, gets up and finishes his concert. I don't get it. I don't get the appeal. I will pay to go see Post Malone 100 times before I spend a single dollar to go see Morrissey. But maybe he's just got this loyal fan base. And perhaps they're all masochists and they love to just throw their money at an empty stage. Paul said it's 80s music. Everyone knows the music, just not the song names. Perhaps. But like Morrissey has been around solo for so long, and I can't think of one single song. Philip said, well, one is an entertainer and Morrissey is just there for himself. Perhaps. But is he even there for him? Is he there at all? I can't. He's on a North American tour right now. I wonder how many minutes he's actually spent on stage during this tour, or how many minutes he plans to. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like him. I think he's clearly overrated. I feel most bad for his bandmates that have to sit there and listen to the boos of the crowd night after night when he decides he's had enough. Sorry, man. I'm a professional entertainer as well. I'm not Morrissey, and I wasn't in the Smiths, but I get up on stage every single night, and I give it 100%, whether people are digging it or not. They paid to be there. And you're paid to be there. Get out there and, my God, do your job. Do your job or quit. Take a page out of Kiss's book. Just, if you don't want to be out there and you don't want to do it anymore, just find something else to do. Like start a podcast. I'll listen to the Morrissey podcast. You can bitch and complain all day long, and somebody's going to listen. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. I'm sorry I went on a little bit of a rant, but like I said, this is the third story I've read about Morrissey just dipping in the middle of his show. In some cases, not even in the middle. There was one incident, and this one perhaps a bit more understandable, was somebody had chucked a water bottle in it, and it hit him in the head. And that would piss me off. I have no problem with that. But my man wasn't out on stage more than 30 seconds. And this was happening. And, and he got hit. And this seems to be kind of a trend. I really don't dig any of that. We had a story about Steve Lacy. Somebody threw a disposable camera up on stage and he smashed it. Good. I think he should have. Harry Styles had chicken nuggets tossed at him. For whatever reason, he's a notable vegan. So that's pretty lame. You're going to pay money to go see a Harry Styles concert to chuck chicken nuggets at him? I don't get it. So believe me when I say I don't think that some of these audiences are completely innocent. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you got a job to do. And I think Steve Lacy smashing the camera was dramatic and awesome, and he continued his show. Harry Styles cracked a joke about the Nuggets, carried on, did his show. Morrissey, the breeze is a little too cool, and he gets off the stage. I don't know. I hope he hears this. Hashtag Morrissey, call me, tell me about it. Explain it to me, and I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I don't hate him. I don't know anything about him other than his name and that he's notable in the music here, in the Smiths, of course. Aye. Philip said Brad will wade through old cut-off guitar strings to entertain his fans. It's a man's entertainer right there. Yes. Where is it? I deserve it. I'll tell you, there have been nights where I've been furious performing. And I've had audience members that really, really rubbed me the wrong way. To the point where you feel like quitting. So I get it. I understand. There have been some audiences I performed for that were so rude. And, when you're at the level that I'm at, there are some times that you are thrust upon an audience versus an audience coming out to see you. So, like, you have to wade through that. That's a whole other gauntlet to get through. It's a much harder situation when you have to go into a show to win over a crowd versus when you walk into a show where everyone has paid admission to come and see you. So easy. It's so easy. They're already there for you. You've already won them over. So, there have been some treacherous audiences where, like, I was like, I don't belong here. And that's maybe a whole different bag. When you get up on stage and you look at the audience and you feel the energy in the room and you're like, these are not my people. And it's okay to feel like that, I think. But at the same time, they got that sweet, sweet check for me behind the bar. And so I'm going to do my best to try to get through it and entertain these people. And, years of experience of winning over crowds I've been thrust upon has been vital. And it doesn't always work, but most of the time I'm able to win over at least a few people. And I latch on to those people, and I play the show for those people. And there you go. Drums and Paul said, I will walk 500 miles through old rusty guitar strings and picks. Philip said there's a little limit that you'd go through. Got a glass of aged rum, Paul. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, that's my piece on that. It rubbed me the wrong way over the last few days reading stories. I refrained from reporting it because, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. But here he is, just it's becoming a trend, and I don't think it's a good one. And if something happened or so, like just say what happened. It's so easy. So easy. I was having a bad day. My stomach was upset. I ate bad sushi and couldn't stop shitting. It's all very easy. But I digress. So Morrissey, let's all buy tickets and go see the show so that we can be there for 5 minutes and then go to the bar. That sounds like a good idea to me. We got some celebrity birthdays today. Pete Davidson, famous for his participation, of course, in the Saturday Night Live television show. He's turning 29 years old today. Still a young buck. He's also a stand-up comic. And he was the first SNL performer to be born in the final decade of the 20th century. Young guy. Pete Davidson, 29 today. Turning 50 years old today, a woman who may not be a household name, but you've definitely seen her perform in films all over, across genres. But it's Missy Pyle's 50th birthday, best known, of course, for playing Constance in the Oscar-winning film The Artist. She also played Mildred in the 2003 film Big Fish, which is a tearjerker for me. I love that movie. She also starred as Tina in the 2019 Netflix original Walk, Ride, Rodeo. Missy Pyle, 50 years old, still looks great. Turning 55 years old today and also still looks great. The actress best known for her role is Denise Huxtable. We're talking about Lisa Bonet. Lisa Bonet turning 55. Denise Huxtable, of course, on The Cosby Show and its spinoff A Different World. She married Lenny Kravitz back in 1987, if you can believe that. And she and Lenny, of course, had a daughter named Zoe, who is also making waves on her own accord. In December of 1990 or 1988, then they divorced in 1993. She officially married Jason Momoa in 2017, and they are the parents to a son named Nakoa Wolf Namakia and a daughter named Lola. Much simpler. But, of course, in January of this year, Momoa and Bonet announced their separation as well. Major age difference there. Not that that matters. Lisa Bonet, beautiful woman. 55 today. Happy birthday, Lisa. Turning 45 today, the actress who is the sister of Jake Gyllenhaal, Maggie Gyllenhaal, turning 45 years old. She's played prominent roles in a number of films, including Crazy Heart, Nanny McPhee Returns, Donnie Darko, and The Dark Knight. Her portrayal of Nessa Stein in the 2014 TV miniseries The Honorable Woman earned her a Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Miniseries or TV Movie. Well, happy birthday, Maggie Gyllenhaal. And rounding out our birthdays, turning 58 years old, Canadian singer-songwriter Diana Krall. Krall's become one of the best-selling jazz artists of all time. Nominated for Album of the Year at the 2000 Grammys. Won 3 Juno Awards in 2002, Artist of the Year, Album of the Year, and Best Vocal Jazz Album of the Year. Legendary Diana Krall, turning 58 years old today. So there you go. Celebrity birthdays. In it to win it. All right. I know, Paul said Missy's in everything. Right? Missy Pyle, man. She's in everything. Yep. All right. Just got a few shameless plugs here. We're right on time this morning. Again, just to mention, our JNC replay tonight in place of our live shows. We'll be replaying the One Chip Challenge episode. The Ponky One Chip Challenge, Heat Challenge that we did. What a wonderful episode. I can't wait for you guys to relive the magic. It'll be replaying right here on YouTube, Facebook, anywhere you're watching this. It will show up at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. I will be slinking around the chats and comments to talk about all of you, or talk with all of you and about all of you. Freudian slip, perhaps? I don't know. So if you find yourself bored with nothing to do tonight, feel free to tune in and catch that replay. It is a good episode. I'm sure it'll give Derek PTSD. Also, as I like to mention, check out JNC Radio. It's our companion internet radio station for all things jams and cocktails. We play music all day long. We do this morning show each weekday morning. The live podcast will come through on at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. And it's just fun. So, and more to come. Once we get a little bit more of a listener base there, we'll be doing more stuff on the radio station. But you can check it out on our website, jncpodcast.com, or in the LIVE365 Radio App, free from your favorite app store. Let's get in there. Nothing to sign up for. You just open the app and search for JNC Radio. Add it to your favorites. Stream it all day long. A shout out to our friends Code Rum, Hop Life, Sneaky Tiki in downtown Stewart, and the Bug Juice. Be sure to support those who support us and support local when you can. Of course, Paul tuning in this morning from the Drums and Rums podcast. He had a brand new podcast drop just yesterday. In fact, I was able to tune in. I caught the tail end of it. He premiered the podcast on YouTube. So I caught the tail end of that. I'm going to have to go back and watch the whole thing. Very interesting. So check that out. He usually drops podcasts on Tuesdays. And, of course, his live stream, Biggest Happy Hour and a Half Hour on Thursday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. And Facebook, too. Maybe just YouTube. I don't know. Either way, you can find all that stuff, jncpodcast.com, and you can stream it right there. If I catch it in time, I put it right on that playlist. You can see it right there on our website, and that still gives Paul all the credit. So be sure to visit his YouTube channel and subscribe there as well, and follow the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. Drums and Rums. Again, to mention, the January 13th through the 15th is the all the plosives coming your way. Cover your ears. The Pirates and Parrot Heads Party in Paradise cruise coming to you January 13th through the 15th, sailing out of the Port of Palm Beach aboard the Margaritaville at Sea. It's going to be a great cruise. So Parrot Heads and pirates alike coming on board. We have Jesse Rice, Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter, who'll be performing with us. Super cool dude. Lots of great music. So come on board. We'll be sailing, and we hope that you join us. More info will be on our website, jncpodcast.com. I'll be putting that up today. I know I've been slacking, but I'll do it today. And you can find the link there. You can also find the link in our events section on our Facebook page. So check it out. Come sail with us. Paul said just YouTube is where that live stream goes. Good. We all know how I feel about Facebook. And finally, in my shameless plugs, go check out our Patreon page. If you're feeling generous and you like what we do, either here in the morning show or on the podcast or just anywhere else, become a patron. It would be really nice of you to do. It's $5 a month and helps us offset some costs of some of the shenanigans we get into and keep the lights on. It's much, much appreciated. And, yeah, if you can't, that's fine too. Just keep sharing and liking all our stuff. That's also equally as important. So that does it for my shameless plugs. And I think, in fact, that probably it probably does it for the show today. So enjoy your hump day out there. Whatever you do, do it with a smile and be kind to one another out there, broadcasting live from the legendary JNC Lounge. I'm Brad Brock. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Let's do it again. Bye.
Tune in again tomorrow morning for the latest local buzz, national headlines, music news, and more on JNC in the Morning, right here on Facebook and YouTube.